Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into NeuroOne Medical Technologies. Will their stock survive or are they headed for the emergency room? Let's find out. NeuroOne, a company focused on medical technology, just got a warning that could impact their stock. They are at risk of being delisted from the Nasdaq Stock Exchange. This might sound scary, but let's break down what it means. Before we dive in, if you're into getting the real story behind companies, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below. Join the conversation. The main point of this filing is that NeuroOne received a warning from Nasdaq. This warning says they aren't meeting the minimum price requirement to stay listed on the Nasdaq stock market. What this means is that their stock price has been too low for too long. Specifically, NeuroOne's stock price has been below $1.00 per share for 30 business days in a row. Nasdaq requires listed companies to maintain a minimum stock price of $1 level when Nasdaq sends a warning, also known as a deficiency notice. This rule, also known as Nasdaq Marketplace Rule 55552, is very important for companies listed on Nasdaq. It's there to make sure companies keep a certain level of financial health, which is measured by the stock price. If a company doesn't meet the minimum bid price, it can cause problems for the company and its investors. NeuroOne now has the 180 calendar days until November of 2025 to get its stock price back up to at least $1.00 and some. If the stock price closes at $1.00 for at least 10 business days in a row before November, they will be back in compliance. This 10-day period might be extended by Nasdaq. If NeuroOne does not meet the minimum bid requirement by November, they might get more time. To get this extra time, they need to meet other Nasdaq requirements, like the market value of their publicly held shares. They also need to tell Nasdaq they plan to fix the problem. If they meet these conditions, Nasdaq might give them another 180 days to regain compliance. However, if it looks like NeuroOne can't fix the problem, or if they don't meet the other requirements, Nasdaq will send a notice saying that their stock will be delisted, meaning it will be removed from the exchange. NeuroOne says it plans to keep watching its stock price and will look at all available options to get back into compliance. This could include things like trying to improve the company's performance, doing a reverse stock split, which combines existing shares into fewer higher priced shares, or other strategies. If NeuroOne fails to regain compliance, Nasdaq will warn them that their stock will be delisted. NeuroOne can then appeal this decision to a Nasdaq hearings panel. However, there is no guarantee that NeuroOne will succeed in this appeal or that they will be able to meet the requirements to stay listed on Nasdaq. This section simply confirms that the report is properly signed and authorized by the company's Chief Executive Officer, David Rosa. So what does all of this mean for NeuroOne? The company's in a tough spot. They need to increase their stock price quickly or risk being delisted from the Nasdaq. This could make it harder for them to raise money and could negatively impact investor confidence. On the other hand, the company says they are committed to fixing the problem and they have several months to do so. The outcome will depend on their ability to improve their financial performance and regain investor confidence. On the other hand, the company says they are committed to fixing the problem and they have several months to do so. The outcome will depend on their ability to improve their financial performance and regain investor confidence. In my opinion, NeuroOne faces a significant challenge. While they have time to address the deficiency, the pressure is on to show real progress. The risk of delisting is real, and investors should be aware of this as they consider whether to invest in the company. However, NeuroOne has potential in the medical technology field, and if they can turn things around, they could still have a bright future. Alright, that's our breakdown of NeuroOne's delisting notice. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.